Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Kai here, and welcome to the first of many anime top 5 reviews that I will be doing. And they will be kind of short and brief because I want to give you guys the animes to watch, and it's going to be completely spoiler free. So this is kind of like tiny reviews for you guys to check out. And my first top 5 on my channel is going to be on thriller, horror, action and mystery all in one. So I'm just going to kick it straight off with number 5. So highly requested, and rightfully so. In number 5 is Tokyo Ghoul. We all know Tokyo Ghoul, it's a very popular anime, and if you haven't heard of Tokyo Ghoul, you probably live under a rock because everyone was screaming about this anime when it was released. So the story with Tokyo Ghoul revolves around the main character Kaneki, who lives in a world where there is the humans and the ghouls, which exist alongside the humans, and they feed off humans and they murder people to live. These ghouls need blood from other humans to live, and you know, it is their source of food and, well, I would say drink in a certain sense of way. So basically, one day Kaneki is walking around the streets and he meets this nice girl, and they go out for a cup of tea and a little cupcake, and she doesn't turn out to be who he thinks she is, and she actually turns out to be a ghoul. And what happens is, when they're walking home, Kaneki suddenly gets jumped by the girl, and she tends to have a little chew on him. So from there he turns into a ghoul, and just a lot of drama kicks off. So Kaneki tries to live in the world of humans, and he tries to live in the world of ghouls, and he tries to keep it secret that he's feasting on humans, and you know, because he's human, he's trying to keep human, he's trying to stay human, you know, telling himself that he's not a ghoul and he can't kill people and all this kind of crazy stuff. So it is a really great story on Kaneki, and it's just really interesting, so you should definitely check out Tokyo Ghoul, and it is well deserved on top 5. There is a ton of action, a ton of blood, and you know, if you're into thrillers and horrors, this is definitely for you. So coming in at number 4 is one of my favourite animes, Death Note. Death Note is a very popular anime, and for a very good reason. Basically, with Death Note, there is two worlds. There is the human world and there is the Shinigami world. And basically, the Shinigamis own these books where they can write a human's name inside the book, and they will die with whatever reason was written in the book, what time, and they will die. And that's what happens with Shinigamis, as they are a god of death. So from here, what happens is there is a school student called Light Yagami, and he finds the book in the schoolyard, and on the front of the book it says Death Note, and on the second and third page it tells you how to use the Death Note and what will happen. And from here, Light is very intrigued in the book, and he doesn't know whether he should give it a go because these things might be real, but that part of him just overtakes him, and he has to try the Death Note to see what would happen, and he thinks it's just a load of baloney until he writes someone's name in it and they do happen to die. From here, Light Yagami just absolutely turns into this killing god. He turns into a person who thinks he has a ton of power, and he ends up believing he is a god himself, as he can control life and death of other humans. And a lot of drama happens with the Shinigamis and who gets involved in meeting other people who own Death Notes. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say for Death Note. You should check it out yourself. It is a great anime. It is psychological. It is thriller. It has gore. There's plenty of blood if you love that kind of, you know, horror animes. And you should definitely check out Death Note. Great anime, worth a watch. Moving on to number 3, which is personally one of my all-time favourites, is the anime called Batum. So I talked a little bit about Batum on my Q&A from my Instagram page with some followers, and I picked up on Batum quite a lot. So I'm going to keep this one quite sweet and short. But basically, Batum is about a story where the main character Ryuta lives with his mother. He's unemployed, and all he does is play video games all day. And he kind of takes life for granted. You know, his mum does his cooking, he does his cleaning, and all he does is play video games. However, one day he wakes up and he finds himself inside this video game. Now, before you go all crazy, it is not like Sword Art Online at all. I find it a lot better than Sword Art Online, actually, because it is very realistic. Even though it's set inside a kind of video game, different reality, the story is absolutely outstanding. So the players are armed with a bag of bombs, and what they must do is kill 7 other players to retrieve their green gems, which are located on the player's hands, and that is their way to get out of the game and return home. And violence is completely allowed. They have grenades where they can just blow people up, and it's a very strategic game. And Ryuta, being one of Japan's top players, he might stand a chance of surviving or he might not. So people that he meet may not be as friendly, they might try and kill him, but others might want to team up. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, if you've seen that. It's a very good survival series, and it is definitely worth a watch. So that's Batum, check it out, it's great anime. So moving on to number 2 of my top 5 of my thriller psychological gore animes is High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead is a very intriguing anime to me, and I do have a small obsession with zombies. I love zombie games, and it is a zombie anime, and I don't think you see many of these animes around nowadays because I don't think it gains a lot of popularity, and I know that the series itself had troubles gaining that popularity. That's why season 2 never came out for this. But the series does have a slight bit of ecchi in it. Well, I say a slight, it has quite a lot to be honest. But as long as you can manage the ecchi, you're really going to enjoy High School of the Dead. So with High School of the Dead, things kick off pretty quick. In episode 1, we see the main character Takashi and his friends. They're just at school, you know, hanging around at lunch, just chilling out. And then they decide to look over the balcony at school, and they see this crazed man at the gates. He's rattling the gates, he seems out of it, and of course, he is a zombie. So what happens from here is, you know, he checks it out, he seems things are a little bit weird, and from there, hell breaks loose. So what happens is the zombies start breaking into the school, and of course they're armed with just school weapons. So the characters in this anime are very unique. You get this crazy kind of gun fetish guy who likes to build these like school-made guns, and they are very effective, to be honest. And you know, what do? They're trapped in the school, there's zombies everywhere, and the town has literally gone to hell. So Takashi and his friends, they band together, they try and find what is going on, how this happened, and some of them try to get back home to see if their families are safe, and others try and save other pupils from, you know, getting bitten and killed. And it's absolutely crazy. I mean, the anime is just sheer amazing in my opinion. And if you love zombies and you love gore, you should check it out. It is very, very high in action. And there's lots of blood, of course, because it's a zombie anime, of course. So check out High School of the Dead. It is 10 out of 10 for me. So let's move on to number 1, which is going to be my absolute favourite. So moving on to number 1 in my top 5 thriller psychological animes is Higurashi no Naki Koroni, or in English, When They Cry. So this is set in 1983, and the main character is called Kaichi, and this is actually where I got my nickname as Kai, because I watched this anime years ago and I fell in love with the character and the anime itself. So that's a little backstory towards my name, I guess. So basically Kai moves to the village of Hinamaziwa, if I say that correctly, and he becomes inseparable with a ton of friends. And as he gets to know more about the village, he learns more about these incidents that have arisen with killings and mysterious mysteries that have never been solved. And what he does is he turns to his friends and he wants to get information out of them. He wants to learn more about the place, and for some reason his friends act suspiciously silent. They don't tell him anything, they refuse to give him any answers, and to Kai this comes across as bizarre. He wants to know what they're hiding. Well, what could they be hiding? You never know. Let's just leave that to the mind. And his paranoia begins to take place, and he just can't get the grasp of not knowing what's going on in the village and all these murders happening. So he stumbles straight into the mysteries, and he gets to try and find out what they are, and a lot of stuff happens. This anime is confusing to a lot of people because it has, I think it's 4 seasons, including the OVA, and it is set in kind of alternate universes. So this is like a kind of spoiler, but it's really kind of not a spoiler, because I'm not going to tell you who or what, where, how. But one episode you'll see someone that just died, the next episode you'll see them alive, and you'll be like, wait, didn't they just die in the last episode? And that's the huge psychological thing about this anime. It is just absolutely out of this mind. And well, is his friends behind all this killing? Are they who they say they are? Or do they just not want to go into the story of it because, you know, it's their town and they don't really like the dark secrets that hang around? So number 1 is Higurashi no Naki Koroni. Brilliant anime, just absolutely outstanding, and it doesn't have the reputation that it needs. A lot of people don't know about this anime, and they really should, because it is absolutely astonishing. It has plenty of episodes. Season 1 has 26 episodes alone, so it is a decent length. I think in total, if you're going to watch all the seasons, it's around probably 100 episodes in total. So let's see if you can unravel the mysteries of Kaichi and his friends before it actually tells you what's going on. So that was my top 5 thriller horror animes, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. This is the first of many top 5s I'll be doing, so please subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps me out, and it's been great to talk with you guys today, and hopefully, well, very soon I'll be doing more top 5s of different genres of animes. So you can follow me over at Instagram on Anime TV, and hopefully I'll see you there. Leave a comment, I'll be sure to say hi, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.